I am so absolutely pumped to be out here at Woodward East in Pennsylvania. What I was thinking we do today is a tour of every single skate park. There's so many to see, so this might take a while, but let's go skate every single park.
So this first park is actually called The Cage. It's kind of like a big sort of Olympic park type of skate park, but you know, I'm a street skater, so why don't we just warm it up on this little quarter? We do have a lot of parks to get to today, but you know, it's always fun to kind of just cruise around. Next one is the Snake Run. This one is honestly so cool. I don't think I've ever been on a snake run that is as long and as vast as this. And you do get this kind of nice vantage point up the top. But yeah, you get the idea. You skate around, there's a bunch of cool obstacles, and we go on this long ride. Then we have the Mini Mega. You know, I wouldn't mind if they called this a real Mega, but it is a little bit smaller. I didn't really plan on skating this time. I did air it once before. I might play the clip, but I was just kind of looking around, and we did manage to see Raymond with a sick trick. I was hyped that he was here the same time as me. We made some videos in the past, so it was really cool to see him again. Then we made some friends down by the rock. It was really cool to connect with all the campers. And you know, that is the point of going to Woodward, is to hang out with the kids and not just try to film the gnarliest tricks. So I thought we'd do a couple of tricks in front of them. They were filming on the stream. We were all having good fun. And we did get a little bit of a session on the slappy ride-on grind kind of curve, which, you know, that's also great that there's such varying levels of obstacles that anyone can just hone like any type of skills they want on. Then we went to this indoor park. It's called the Playground. I kind of almost view it as like two separate parks because you got this little Mani Mania streety plaza out the front as well as the proper full park on the inside. This is one of the coolest mini ramps that ever exist. So it's absolute pleasure to ride around and feel just the epicness of that mini. But they do have a few other features like a few foam pits as well as this rail into foam that I've messed around on some viral TikToks on. Then we took the train along the rails down to the block. I like this skate park a lot. It's kind of like a plaza that you'll find in sort of like a local town. Just a couple ledges, couple rails, and then some sort of street style obstacles. I really enjoyed this one a lot, even though it's probably one of the more simple parks here. But I thought it was a nice touch, this rail down the level too. I thoroughly did enjoy skating that. Then we have Egypt. I'm actually not sure why this one is called Egypt. Maybe it's the graffiti. But I remember when I went here with the Braille guys, this was definitely Glow's favorite park. He absolutely loved this rail. I think I board slid this rail on a rip surf, which was kind of fun. But I thought while I was here, I gotta get one on this lovely long round rail. Then we have the Plaza. Now this one is really cool too. I feel like this is kind of like almost like a street spot. There's all these street style ledges. There's not really many ramps. It's all kind of banks. There's some big stairs and a handrail. I was eyeing off this little gap. It's kind of like a wall ride over grass gap. I kind of thought that might be pretty cool. I was worried I might hit on this yellow top of the lip, but it managed to work out and I was pretty pumped on that. I also like the look of this schoolyard picnic table, so you know I absolutely had to session that. I thought kind of like, what's the coolest trick I could do? I went with a little front blunt, and yeah, I was pretty stoked on that. It felt good. Now we have the Town Center. These names are kind of funny, but this is an epic style park. This kind of has a lot of different ramps, a lot of different possibilities, but my eyes went straight onto the kink rail, and I was like, wow, this is like a very cool, awesome style kink rail that you can really practice for the streets on. So I just thought I'd get a couple basics on it because I'm so excited I just had to skate it right then. But yeah, there's also a lot of options, a lot of combos. This is very popular too. These two far away quarter pipes kind of forming a mini ramp too. Jenise was having fun with that. And it's off to the next one of Cloud 9. I want to say this is actually more like a BMX scooter park. We have all these wavy jumps and a foam pit and the resi. So I thought maybe I could practice some of my flippy dangerousy type tricks that maybe I'll pull off later on. There's also the vert with a vert resi that's always a bunch of fun to play on.
I come out here to this beautiful mini ramp. Damn scooter kids just put their crap everywhere. I'm just kidding.
This next one, it actually doesn't have a name because I feel like it's not really an official park. This is kind of like the graveyard, the creator park overflow area. So when they're moving around all the obstacles and they don't have a park to officially put them in, I think they end up here. So it's kind of funny to just see a lot of random mismatched things from parks over the years out here. And yeah, I got a little creative with the hippie jump. That was kind of fun to do the 3 levels. And you really can't see the board. But it had these mini ramps too with the spine, which were like still really good, but you could tell why they're up here because they were a little bit weathered over time. I had to mess around on the giant parkour type quarter pipe too. It was kind of funny to see it out here and like super skatable. A Woodward employee proposed this little side quest where I go and skate this barrier, and we kind of like treat it a little bit like a street spot. We sort of bonded up the cracks, and then we wanted to film a couple of VX clips on it. Check out the homie and his VX video. Maybe you'll see Ricky in there when it comes out. There actually are a couple of other street spot-esque places around on the compound, so I thought I'll do a couple of manis on just these basic ones. But honestly, you could film it in a creative way. It really would look like a street spot. The homie asked me to do a trick for his coursework that he was doing, so we hit him with the blunt and he got the sick angle of it as we led into the next park, which was the school. Another lovely indoor. This homie was asking me to film some clips for him too, and we did a couple of tricks just to feel it out before taking the session out the front to this, I think they call it F-Bowl, kind of like a OG style skate park. They used to really build skate parks like this before they would build proper bowls. They would just kind of build these like noping bowls. Then it was off to another new skate park, the Progression Center. Now this is also where we find the trampolines and the parkour and the rock climbing and all that kind of stuff. But I do like these progression centers. They're very small, mellow obstacles specifically designed for learning. And they do have this unbelievably beautiful mini ramp too. This one is an absolute delight and so much fun to just chill on. They also have this bump to bar foam section, which is a little bit interesting. I feel like you don't want to let your guard down too much in the foam, but the concept is that you could learn a trick into the foam and then do it onto the wood. So that is very cool. On the other side of the progression center, there is Sandlar East. Now, I believe this is some kind of connection to Ryan Sheckler, one of my favorite skaters of all time. So I thought to honor him, I would try to shred it up. I was actually filming a video with the Woodward team, so that's kind of why my trick selection was so bizarre. We were doing like a trick request kind of thing, but it was fun to skate in this park and just feel it out and do some random ones. After that hard skating, I thought we'd hit a little side quest. So Jenise and I went to the local lake, and believe it or not, I managed to catch a fish. Look at that, yes. Jenise wanted to get my back, and believe it or not, she did too. So we were very pumped on that. Then it was off to the flagship skate park, Lot 8. Now this really has a bit of everything. We got the foam pit, the resi with the giant roll-in, which is a big attraction there. We had some homies jumping into the pit, we had to get their back. Then you have the sort of more early 2000s kind of like skate park setup, with a lot of gaps, a lot of big airs. There's also a smaller vert ramp to resi, which I actually thought was kind of perfect for me because I could really kind of dial in my airs, maybe try a McTwist or two before realizing that, oh yeah, McTwists are actually extremely hard and not possible for me to do. But at this skate park, we did end up doing kind of like a demo for the campers, which was really fun. The BMXs and the scooters were going absolutely off, and I was just trying to land a couple things. But I did think to get them hyped, I could do this board-to-board front flip that I've been working on for so long. And I thought being at Woodward is finally the chance where I might actually be able to put it down. Riding the high from that one, there was only one park that I hadn't skated yet, and it was the SLS Outdoor Park. This was also a new one that I've never skated before. It was nice to look around, get a little bit of a vibe for the park, see all the kind of possibilities and the gaps. Once again, my eyes were drawn directly to the thing that I wanted to focus on, which was this kink rail. I thought it would be so cool if we could do a dark slide down this kink rail. I know it sounds a little bit ludicrous. It's a round rail. We gotta flip the board in. We gotta go through the kink. We gotta level out. We gotta balance. We gotta stay on. We gotta flip out. Seems like really a lot, and I battled so hard for this. But we did manage to put it down, and I felt so good about it. We had a couple of the homie campers stuck it out the whole time with me, getting some double angles, and it came out great. That completes the tour of every single skate park at Woodward. Honestly, I had such a great time meeting all the campers and hanging out and skating all these fantastic parks and just enjoying the magic of Woodward. Hopefully I'll be back again next year, but that is it for this video. I like skate.